Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Calm Classroom. This is an Indian Pale Ale, and it is citrus hop, soft malted character, and light and carbonic. It says it is a West Coast style, and it's coming in at 7% ABV. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome back to End of the Day Beer Review, and today we are looking at Calm Classroom. Now, if you watch the channel, you might know I am a classroom teacher, and we go back, God, like in a couple of days actually. So I saw this name and I thought it would be interesting because, you know, we all sort of hope for that Calm Classroom at least a little bit. What is that? Did I leave? No, okay, good. Thought there was something in camera. No, okay, all is well. So anyway, we are going to be looking at Calm Classroom. This is an IPA by Hubbard's Cave. I always forget if it's a brewing company or whatnot, but it says actually that it just says Hubbard's Cave Calm Classroom, but it does say brewed by Uni Ann Brewery, LLC, Niles, Illinois. And again, it's coming at 7%. It says here that Hubbard's Cave is the American counterpoint to the Une Ange Belgian style ales, producing primarily IPAs and stouts since 2015. HC is named after the Hubbard Street traffic tunnel on Interstate 9094 in Chicago, where UA Brewery was born, and the road it was founded on. Hubbard's Cave has quickly grown to produce some of our most popular offerings. So I guess Hubbard's Cave is sort of what is it? I guess it's like a syndicate or a subset of this other brewing company. So, and they seem to focus on, like I said, it's like the thing said here, primarily IPAs and stouts. Now, I've had other stuff that has had the Hubbard's Cave title on it, and I think it's actually been pretty good. So I have to go back and look at the reviews. Now, you know, I've said before, I'm not the biggest IPA fan, but I've also said that thanks to Gusto and a couple other breweries out there, I've really had some luck and I've enjoyed some IPAs lately. So, you know, I've opened this and there is not what I consider the sort of overwhelming smell of a lot of IPAs, especially bad IPAs, which is that smell of cat piss. So I'm not getting that, which is very nice. I'm sure there's some technical beer name for that, but, you know, it's probably a specific type of hop that just reminds me of. What I am getting now as I lift the can is some orange. So it pours a nice light yellow, you know, almost like a pineapple soda or something like that. Whitehead, my pour was a little too hard there, as you can see, with the, instead of like a fingertip of head, I have like, you know, a full palm's worth. So let's let this come down. I like the color. I have to say the aroma in the bar is really, really lovely. It's a nice sort of, I want to say floral, but it's much more citrus than anything, but it's sort of like citrus flower. Much more in the way of orange than grapefruit, tangerine, as opposed to grapefruit. So, you know, like everything here is a good sign for me when it comes to this IPA, because like I said, you know, that sort of like hoppy, sort of like overly, like again, I can't remember the name of it. It was the beer I reviewed that I thought tasted terrible, that everybody talks about as like the greatest thing that's ever been fucking brewed. A heady topper, I think it was. To me, that was repulsive. And I know someone said like the guy with the glasses doesn't have a right to drink beer anymore. You know, I really don't care. I just thought it smelled like a rather ripe litter box. And I don't have a cat, so I mean, you know, that smell sticks with you. This is very nice. This is much more of sort of like a citrus salad type of aroma. All right, I know the head is completely a disaster there, but I'm gonna give it a try. Oh, that's really nice. Now, first thing, what I will say is it's a little more subdued than I expected it to be. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not flavorful. It means that the flavors are there. They step back a little bit and sort of meld together. and it's just this nice, very vague citrus sort of medley of flavors. Now, there is a bitterness on the back end. It's not overly sweet. I expected this to have a sweetness not quite up there with like orange or pineapple juice, but more of a juice type of consistency. There's actually a nice bitterness to this that controls that sort of like citrus salad flavor. I think this is quite nice. And quite honestly, at 7% for an IPA, that's pretty high for some of the IPAs that I've been seeing around here lately. And you know, I always judge a brewery by how well they, I don't want to say mask the alcohol, but the alcohol, the ethanol should not be the dominant flavor. And it's not here at all. Like I get no burn in the throat, no burn as it goes down, no burn in the stomach. It's actually really a lovely drinking beer. And you know, very, very easy drinking beer. So with that being said, at 7%, I could see this one getting away from you. Now, is it dangerous? No. You're not going to be suckered in and think that there's no alcohol in this. In fact, now, 2 very big sips in, there's 2 things that would slow me down. One, the bitterness on the back of the tongue, which I really enjoyed on the first pass, is sort of cumulative. It's getting a little bit more bitter as we go. And that's going to make me take a little time between sips. So, I mean, that's one aspect of it. The other thing is now I'm getting just a hint of that heat in my stomach that's reminding me that there's, you know, there's a good amount of alcohol in here. Would I drink this again? Well, where I bought this, and I can't remember exactly where I picked this up, but it was $5.99. The tag is still on the can, actually. I think I would, you know, from the perspective of it being an IPA, you know, if I was looking for an IPA and I saw Hubbard's Cave, you know, Quiet Classroom IPA, yeah, this is a good, easy drinking, well-crafted, fruity sort of IPA. It is not going to offend the non-IPA drinkers. It's probably also not going to fully satisfy the people who are like the hardcore IPA drinkers, the ones who are looking for that like ode to cat piss type of like, you know, hoppiness. And I don't mean that as the insult that I'm sure it comes off as. It's just IPAs, when I was introduced to them, always rang true with that sort of like, you know, that sort of gross sort of, you know, hoppy smell that I've always associated, like I said, with that sort of like cat pee smell. So it's never been something I've enjoyed. You know, somebody else's sensibilities and tastes are totally different, and that's your jam. That's awesome. I'm sure, you know, actually I'm not just sure from a speculative point of view. I know because people tell me all the time that the stouts I drink are horrible and heavy and difficult and all that kind of stuff. So like, I get the idea of different tastes. So, you know, would I turn my nose up to this? No. But because I am really sort of a non-IPA IPA person, you know, I like the IPAs dialed back. If you're truly an IPA drinker, this might not be your jam because you're looking for something more extreme. If you're middle of the road type of IPA drinker, this might be for you. Would I buy it again? I mean, I don't think I'd go and hunt it down, but there are very few IPAs or double IPAs that I'm going to go and hunt down. Like, I have my, you know, my target for IPAs, and it's mostly Gusto. If, you know, and I mean, Equilibrium also makes really, really good IPAs. And I know there are other places out there, but like those are the ones that just come to mind as I'm sitting here thinking about that. So with the other choices that are out there, I'm not sure I would go out and get this again for myself. That being said, $6 for this can of beer is not unreasonable. And quite honestly, it's an enjoyable, easy drinking beer. So would I drink it if it was the only thing that was there on the menu that wasn't like a macro? Yeah, I would. You know, would I go and hunt it down? Probably not. Would I be disappointed if I came to somebody's party and they were like, hey, this is what I have? No, this is a good, well-crafted beer. If you're an IPA person, you should definitely give it a try. If you're not an IPA person, you should definitely give it a try. It's worth trying. Would I stock my fridge with it? Would it become an everyday drinker? Probably not. A good beer, definitely one you should check out. And you know, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this one, and I'll see you guys next time on End of the Day Beer Review. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you next time on End of the Day Beer Review. Cheers. Nothing bad, nothing bad. All right, let's go with this one first. All right. Oh, okay, so this is an IPA. I have an IPA. IPA glass. The real question is, do I do my fucking Goose Island rant today, folks, as I get my IPA glass ready? Because I do have one, especially as the summer ends and we start to think about, you know, the fall, and then November, and then Black Friday, everything like that. I mean, I have to go over the list of what they're putting out. Whoa, almost dropped that glass. And all that kind of crap. So, alright. You know what? This will do. The glass is not dry all the way. Hold on. Be right back. Just when I ran out of paper towels. Alright, that'll be good enough. Okay. This here. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Oh, camera lid. 3, 2, 1. Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Hubbard's Cave. This is called, I'm sorry, I fucked that one up. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Calm Classroom. This is an Indian Pale Ale. This is by Hubbard's Cave, and it says that it is citrus hop, salt, malted character, and light and carbonic. And it's coming in at 7.0% ABV. I'm going to try this one more time. 3, 2, 1. Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Calm Classroom. This is an India Pale Ale by Hubbard's Cave, and it says it is fuck that one up again. Yeah, there's definitely outro stuff for this one. All right, 3, 2, 1.